Hey everyone, you are listening to Level Up Nation with your host Stacey Pereira from the Dustin Pritchard Real Estate Team and my lovely co-host Dustin Pritchard.
How's it going?
Hey!
Hey!
So today, if you're tuning in, we are talking about just saying no. We're
No.
not talking about no to drugs. We're talking about no business, which you're probably sitting there listening, watching, thinking, why would I say no to business? That sounds
Right?
awful.
That does sound awful. It's counterintuitive, isn't it? Most entrepreneurs are like, I want to make money. Well, a lot of times saying no can actually help you make a lot more money in less time and save you a lot of pain and suffering. So yeah, let's talk about saying no as entrepreneurs.
That's awesome. So when we talk about just saying no, there's a few things that come to mind for myself personally. One of the things that I've noticed with small businesses is when they'll start off and their pricing will be in line with their competitors
Hmm.
or just a little bit under.
Yep.
So it kind of drives a lot of traffic and a lot of clientele to them. And then I find about a year to 2 years into their business, they get to a point where they're too busy, so they start saying no or they raise their rates.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I think it's a natural evolution. Like this, it's a pretty standard practice for you to start off with a new business and start off with a lower rate or a competitive rate in order for you to gain an audience and market share. And then once you've got the audience and you've got repeat customers, depending on your industry, obviously, but you have repeat customers, you're satisfied with the level and volume of business that you're looking for. It's natural for you to start looking at your income statements and say, okay, it's time to start getting higher margins. So let's raise our price, right? And that's actually pretty standard. You see a restaurant open up, for example, a lot of times they'll charge competitive rates, but offer a lot more food, right? And then they'll see the portion control start to come in as they're starting to increase their margins and that type of thing. It's a pretty normal practice, and it's one of the ways that you can say no, and that's really just saying no to more capacity, increasing your margins on the capacity that you have without increasing your capacity, because a lot of times it costs a lot of extra money for you to increase your capacity, right? So I know that, for example, when I was running my last business, in order for me to increase my capacity, I almost literally had to double my overhead and expense and risk in order for me to even just start getting a little bit more business happening, right? So a lot of times it's a conscious choice that people, they start off at lower price, or they, higher quality sometimes, or more quantity sometimes, and then they make adjustments as they want to increase margins. That's one of the ways that businesses say no, and it's actually a very effective tool.
Yeah, no, I totally completely agree with that. And with my previous company, we did the thing where we started adding base price to our commission price.
Yep.
And it was a way to help us filter out and control our profit and our expenses and gains. But one of the other ways that businesses say no, and I think this is one of the most interesting ones for business owners, I'll use this example. When you are drinking at a bar and you get completely inebriated, and then the bartender has to
Who
say,
does that?
I'm sorry.
Who does that?
All right.
Who goes to the bar and gets inebriated?
Not anyone now. Who's going to cut you off at home? Huh? Who's going to cut me off now? No. But if you are at a bar, the bartender responsibly bartending must cut you off.
Right.
And I've bartended for years, and one of my favorite things that one of my managers told me, he's like, Stace, he's like, you're a great server, you're a great bartender. He's like, but I gotta tell you, he's like, the customers here, they're not always right. He's like, sometimes your clients are assholes. He's like, you don't have to serve them. So I wanted to talk about this because this is really important. It's important in real estate, but it's also important in any sort of small business owner, like any business ownership. If your clients are coming at you and they're not treating you right, they're not paying their bills, they're being belligerent, they're just basically acting like you have the right to say no. You do not have to take that client on. And again, in my previous business, we actually had to say no to some people just due to personality conflict.
Yeah.
Um, like it's not
See,
our responsibility to answer the phone every 15 minutes.
no, no, it's not. Just because you offer a service does not mean that you have to deliver that service to every single person that calls you, right? Actually, it's not just about saying no to clients. It's ensuring that you have the right alignment with the right kind of clients, because you want a success story no matter what. Like, we're going to pretend that every single person watching this show today is an entrepreneur with a good heart, right? And somebody that really wants to deliver an exceptional experience to their clients. Well, let's play the movie. Let's say you've got somebody that is completely polar opposite in personality type to you, and your personality pisses them off and theirs pisses you off, and this just is natural, right? It's, you're not going to get along with everybody, right? And
Fine, then why?
well, oh my god, that personality type is like, no, not for me. Okay, so that's when you say no. But here's the reason why. It actually ends up costing you a lot more money. It costs you more money than you could ever hope to make by saying yes. And the reason why is because it has those kinds of transactions. Like, let's take real estate for example, because we live in that kind of a space. But you take on a transaction like that, a customer like that, they end up taking a lot more time. A lot of times they take more time simply because you don't have an alignment of values and personality and expectations and things like that. It takes more time. Spending time, especially on a commission basis, or like most entrepreneurs out there are working on one kind of commission or another, takes more time, takes more effort, takes more energy. A lot of times those deals fall apart before they actually come to fruition. Many times, even if you're able to get that deal to fruition, they hated the experience. And so now you're getting paid, but you're not getting paid on the 20,000 other deals that you could have been doing because they badmouthed you out there to the public or to your target market and things like
You
that,
wouldn't know
right?
anything
So
about that, would you?
what's that?
You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Yeah, well, you know what? When you're operating a polarizing business model, that's something that carves out market share very, very fast. Is very that kind of.
Disruptive.
It's disruptive. It happens.
Yeah.
It just happens, right? But that's okay. So at the end of the day, it costs you a lot more time, energy, and money to actually say yes to the wrong kind of client. But it doesn't stop there. This isn't just on a one deal basis. So let's pretend that it didn't go through, or let's backtrack. It did go through. You executed, you persevered, and you got it done no matter what. They hated the experience. They badmouthed you out there in the field, even though it was a success story, right? Mm-hmm. So you got a little bit of money. That's okay, a little bit of money, but a whole bunch of pain in the butt, right? That's on one side.
No one wants hemorrhoids.
Right. Exactly. But on the other side of the fence, it compounds, right? So not only did you go through this experience and you got paid a little bit, but not quite what you could have or should have, and it certainly didn't result in more business, it actually took away from serving somebody that was in alignment with your values, was in alignment with your product offering, was in alignment with the expectations, and had a pleasant, amazing experience that not only did they have a great time, you got a Google review, you got a testimonial, and they're sending you referrals, right?
Yeah, so, and Dustin, sorry to cut you off here. I think that was awesome, but this actually is a perfect time to segue into my next no. So there's in this world, there's your external client and then your internal client, and your internal client is actually your employee. So here's the thing too, you can hire someone, but if they don't fit into your company culture, they aren't promoting your company and being a good brand ambassador, you can also say no to that. And we recently just experienced this, unfortunately, with our team. But having an internal customer or brand ambassador that's toxic to your environment can be just as detrimental to your business, right?
More. It's a brand ambassador. It's somebody else's face on your brand, on your business, and how are they representing you, right? So in order for you to make sure that your employees are going to represent you the way that you would represent you, you need to hire correctly and fire fast when it's not correct. So not only is this about your reputation, about delivery of product and service to result in a consumer success story that just shouts from the rooftops and becomes that brand advocate. At the same time, it's incredibly costly in time and money to hire somebody, train them to just sit there and burn your business. So it costs time and money to do that. So the last thing that you want to do is go through, a situation where it takes you've spent all the time, you've gone through all the interviews, you hired somebody, then you train somebody just to keep on burning your business over a period of time because you don't want to let somebody go, or maybe they're not in alignment, and you don't want to you don't want to say no, or you're not comfortable saying no. Right?
Yeah.
You have to. You got to do it. You have to do it. It's
say
it's
no
hard to be an
like
entrepreneur.
a boss. Yeah.
You gotta say no like a boss. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and we can drill into this because this is a very important topic and it's multifaceted. But if you say no, aka if you let somebody go that's not serving your brand and your business, it actually helps them, right?
Yeah.
Helps them. They get to spread their wings. They get to find alignment. They get to find a place and a process and a business that's going to help them shine. There's certainly, if you're not feeling great about them and they're not helping your brand, they're not going to become a success story as an employee either, right? And that's hurting somebody, not just hurting yourself, but that's hurting them.
Yeah, not even, not to throw myself under the bus. There you go.
Who's been fired before? Me.
No. Well, last year it was really interesting because I was really struggling to find my fit. Yeah. And I kind of, it was funny, now, not before, but like some people were like, one person in general messaged me and she was like, so are you trying to win awards for best as many brokerages as you can be in 1 year? And I was just like, oh. But truthfully, it just
baggy comment if you don't mind me saying so, but you know what, you're gonna get people have lots of opinions.
But here's the thing, as an independent contractor, I went from owning my own business. It's my dad always says this, he's like, Stace, you've always been a chief, you have like a hard time just being a normal regular like hunter-gatherer Indian, and he's like, you have to learn how to like just not be the chief. I'm like, I can't.
Oh my God, I can so relate to that. Talk about people letting go from businesses.
No, I know. But just tagging on to what you were saying, you know what? The best thing that those people could have done was let me go.
Yes.
Because now I found a fit, and I'm more motivated than I was in those instances. And again, I'm very grateful to the people that I got to work with last year. I learned a lot about myself and about our industry. But I think where I'm at now is literally the perfect fit. So them saying no to me and me saying no to them, it was like, it's not you, it's me. No. It did work out in the long run. So I am living testament to what you were just saying. Thank you for letting me share my feelings. Oh my God, I got fired. It was so weird. It was such like an ego, like again, I've never really been fired. I've been like laid off because places have closed, but I've never.
You've never really been fired? Oh my God! So, do you know how Dustin learned that he's a serial entrepreneur?
You got fired.
Over and over, right? So talk about non-alignment, right? And wanting to be a chief and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Now, when I was younger, there was ego in play and all that kind of stuff too, right? As you know, as we grow up. But you know what? You definitely have to have alignment. You got to be able to say no to the wrong kind of business. You got to be able to say no to people in general that are not in alignment with your business and what you are trying to achieve and the value you're trying to deliver to internal and external customers. You have to say no, because if you don't say no, it takes all of your resources away from the people and the things that you should be saying yes to.
Well, and then just going into like, here's my hippie speak again, but if you want to be profitable and motivated, you really need to find your vibe tribe.
Yeah.
And what I mean by vibe tribe is you'll actually get excited and I almost like amalgamated 2 words. Excited, and you want to basically get up every day, contribute, and motivate yourself and your team or your clients to be with your product and service. One of the things that you're talking about with alignment, I think it's very important right now that we discuss this because of quarantine.
Mhm.
So the way that people are going to align themselves once this phases out, I think is like so phenomenal. If you are a business owner and you've been on hiatus because you're deemed non-essential, now is the time when you should be addressing your business plan and you should be learning to say no to the things that you can't provide. Um, for example, we talk about Mike Alabet a lot on the show from Icon Homes.
Yeah, yeah.
He's had to say no a
Response
lot.
team.
Yeah, yeah, no, we love Mike. Hi,
Yeah.
Mike, shout out.
What's up?
But yeah, like he's actually said no to doing business as per usual. And I'm sure he's going to have to say no. And many other different small business owners are going to have to say no to how they were doing business as usual.
Hmm.
So I think that that's one of the things that people really need to address and think about right now. And also, just because that's the way it worked before might not necessarily be the way it's going to work now. And you have to figure out how to stay alive in these types of conditions. There's tons of businesses folding right now.
Yeah, there is, and not to be scary, but you know what? On the other side of the fence, there's also just as many businesses starting up right now,
Yes.
right? So, like, if any kind of major change in a economy or structure or business or whatever, it's going to be disruptive, right? So there's going to be some ebb and flow. So yes, there's some businesses closing down, a lot of brick and mortar, a lot of big retail and things like that. As people go virtual and go online, that obviously those kind of industries are going to suffer. But on the other side of the fence, you've got these entrepreneurial people that are hungry and motivated and bored AF, sitting at home in quarantine going, okay, this ain't going to happen again. What am I going to do? And they're figuring it out and they're putting businesses together.
Mhm.
So I have a little advice for those of you who are brand spanking new entrepreneurs. What's up? This is how you level up. Okay. First, and we talked about this in a past episode, but the first thing that you do is architect the business around the life that you want to live. Okay, we talked about that. We'll drill into that deeper, but a really great exercise is making a list of all the things and people and circumstances that you want to say no to, because the opposite of that is the stuff that you should be saying yes to, that is in alignment with you, your values, your character, the value that you want to deliver to your consumer. Right? So if you're a brand new baby entrepreneur or you're just starting this side hustle, online, offline, whatever it happens to be, do this exercise. Say no. Make a list of all the crap you want to say no to. I don't want a punch clock. I don't want a boss. I don't want limited income. I don't want this. I don't want that. Great. That's your starting point. Now you've got all the stuff that you shouldn't be adopting into your business, and the opposite of that is probably what you should be saying yes to.
Absolutely. And just to tag on to that, you guys should be putting a dollar value to each of these tasks. So some of these things that you can say no to, you might be able to leverage out to someone else.
Yep.
And that's honestly one of the ways to better support everybody. If you want to, if you want to say no, but you don't want to not offer the service, and you can offer the service, put a value to it, and then say, I'm not willing to do this myself, but I'm willing to pay someone else to do this.
You know what? You bring up a good point, and I'll use this as my final thought. Before you say no, say to yourself, how might I say yes, right? Because we don't want to turn down business. If there's a way to make money and revenue, how might you say yes without disrupting your business model, right? So let's say you make widgets, right? And somebody asks you make a doodad as opposed to a widget. And he's like, oh, how do I go through the exercise of how might I say yes? Is this possibly in an alignment? No, it's not something that I do right now, but could it be? And then determine whether or not it's something that you can do right now, or maybe it's something that you want to plan for in a future business plan.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you have been tuning in, you are listening to Level Up Nation. We were talking today all about just saying no. So basically, the no's that we have addressed were say no to clients who don't treat you right, say no to employees who don't align with your business, say no to doing things or tasks or services that aren't profitable and that you might be able to leverage out. And if you have anything that you think that we should cover that we didn't say no to, please hit us up in the comments below. We want to talk to you. So please, yes, give us more ideas. Once again, you've been listening to Level Up Nation. I'm your host, Stacey Freer, with co-host Dustin Freer. We'll see you again next time.
All right. Ciao for now.